Do you ever avoid breaking mirrors? Most people do. When you see a cracked mirror, you probably feel a little uncomfortable. Maybe you turn away quickly. Maybe you think about 7 years of bad luck. Maybe you do it without thinking. Maybe your parents taught you. Your grandmother probably warned you about it too. She might have told you stories about what happens when mirrors break. People all over the world worry about broken mirrors every day. In offices, at home, in stores. Workers handle mirrors carefully. Shoppers avoid the broken ones. Everyone knows the rule about 7 years. But this habit is thousands of years old. It comes from a much darker place. The real story isn't about bad luck. It's about something much more frightening. Hi everyone. Today we're going to learn where this really comes from. And trust me, the real story will surprise you. It's not what you think at all. Today, when someone breaks a mirror, they usually say the same thing. Oh no, 7 years bad luck. They might laugh about it, but they still feel a little worried. Deep down, something bothers them. Different people handle it different ways. Some throw salt over their shoulder. Others spin around 3 times. Some people bury the pieces under moonlight. A few people even take the broken pieces to running water. This happens everywhere mirrors exist. In bathrooms when people drop their makeup mirrors. In stores when workers accidentally crack the display mirrors. In gyms when someone drops weights near the mirror wall. Even in cars when the rearview mirror gets damaged. Most people think it's just an old wives' tale. They say it's silly superstition. It's just glass, they tell themselves. Bad luck doesn't really work that way. But they still handle broken mirrors carefully. You probably do this without even thinking about it. Your body tenses up when you see broken glass. Your mind automatically thinks 7 years bad luck. It happens so fast you don't even notice. Modern people have lots of explanations. Some say it's about being careful with sharp glass. Others think it started because mirrors were expensive. A few people believe it's about self-image and confidence. But this wasn't always so harmless. This wasn't always so simple. The real reason people fear broken mirrors goes back to a much darker time. Back in medieval times, around the 12th century, people first wrote about broken mirrors seriously. Medieval monks kept careful records in their monastery libraries. They wrote about mirrors in ways that would terrify us today. Medieval church records show something interesting. Priests wrote warnings about mirrors in their sermons. They told people to be very careful with them. These weren't just objects to medieval people. They were something much more dangerous. Back then, medieval people treated mirrors very differently. They whispered prayers before looking into them. They covered them during thunderstorms. They never, ever left a broken mirror lying around. There were signs it meant something much more serious in medieval villages. People who broke mirrors often disappeared from the records. Their names stopped appearing in church documents. Their families moved away quietly. This was happening when knights rode through villages and people lived in fear of demons. Medieval people believed the world was full of invisible dangers. They thought evil spirits watched them constantly, and mirrors were doorways. Village priests practiced special rituals with mirrors. Medieval nobles kept them locked in wooden boxes. Peasants could barely afford small pieces of polished metal, but everyone knew the rules about keeping them safe. Medieval atmosphere was filled with supernatural fear. Stone churches cast long shadows over thatched cottages. Candlelight flickered in the darkness, and people believed that broken mirrors let demons into our world. Researchers at Oxford University found something interesting in 2019. They studied thousands of medieval documents about mirrors. What they discovered changed everything we thought we knew about this superstition. They looked at archaeological evidence from medieval dig sites, old church records written by medieval monks, ancient books about magic and demons, pieces of medieval mirrors found in castle ruins. The team examined medieval artwork showing mirrors. They studied medieval laws about mirror making. They even found medieval burial sites where people were buried with broken mirrors. They discovered this practice is over 4,000 years old. It started long before medieval times. But medieval people turned it into something much more frightening than anything that came before. The big surprise was how seriously medieval people took this. These weren't just folk beliefs. Medieval churches had official rules about mirrors. Medieval kings made laws about them. This was real religion and real law. Why it matters is simple. This research proved that our modern fear of broken mirrors comes directly from medieval people's terror of demons and evil spirits. Medieval daily life was filled with supernatural danger. People lived in small stone cottages with dirt floors. They worked by candlelight and firelight. Every shadow could hide a demon. Every strange sound meant evil spirits were near. Medieval people feared specific things we can't imagine today. They worried about demons stealing their souls. They believed witches could curse them through mirrors. They thought the devil himself watched them through reflective surfaces. Death was always close. The real reason in medieval times was protection from hell itself. Medieval people believed mirrors showed your soul. When a mirror broke, your soul cracked too. Evil spirits could crawl through the cracks into your body. The devil could possess you completely. Medieval people thought this would protect them from eternal damnation. They believed broken mirrors opened doorways to hell. Demons would pour through like water through a broken dam. Your soul would be dragged down to burn forever. The medieval ritual was much more serious than today. When someone broke a mirror in medieval times, the whole village acted quickly. They gathered the pieces at midnight. They buried them at a crossroads while priests said prayers. They fasted for 7 days. What happened if medieval people didn't do it correctly terrified them. If they forgot to collect every tiny piece, demons would multiply. If they didn't say the right prayers, the devil would mark their family. Their children would be born cursed. The scary medieval part was about your reflection. Medieval people believed your reflection was actually your soul living in the mirror. When the mirror broke, your soul shattered too. Pieces of your soul would be trapped forever in the broken glass. Evil spirits would eat those pieces. Real medieval consequences were eternal. Medieval people thought broken mirrors meant 7 years of demonic possession. Devils would whisper in your ear. You would have nightmares every night. Your crops would fail. Your animals would die. And when you died, you would go straight to hell. People in different medieval kingdoms all did this for the same reason. From medieval England to medieval France. From Scottish highlands to German forests. Every medieval village had the same fear of broken mirrors and demon possession. It traveled through medieval Europe with pilgrims and crusaders. Traveling merchants carried the warnings from town to town. Wandering monks preached about it in every village square. Medieval people shared these fears wherever they went. Same medieval fears, same solution everywhere. Medieval villagers in Italy feared demons just like medieval peasants in England. Everyone was terrified of hell. Everyone believed mirrors could let evil spirits into the world. So everyone followed the same rules. Different medieval cultures adapted it slightly. English medieval people buried the pieces under oak trees. French medieval people threw them in holy wells. German medieval people burned them with special herbs. But the basic fear was exactly the same. It worked for medieval people because it gave them some control. In a world full of plague, war, and death, this was something they could do. They could protect their souls. They could keep demons away. They could avoid hell. Medieval parents taught their children these rules very seriously. This wasn't just superstition. This was survival. Children who forgot these rules might lose their souls forever. So medieval families passed down every detail through generations. Survival through medieval hardships made these beliefs stronger. When the Black Death killed half of Europe, people blamed broken mirrors. When wars destroyed villages, survivors said it started with broken mirrors. Every disaster proved the mirrors were dangerous. The medieval period ended, but the fear of mirrors continued. As people became more educated, they stopped believing in demons. But something deep inside still remembered the old warnings. The fear became a habit instead of real terror. Medieval churches had shaped the belief completely. During the Renaissance, people still followed the rules, but they started saying it was about bad luck instead of demon possession. The supernatural fear slowly turned into simple superstition. Colonial times spread these medieval fears around the world. European settlers brought their mirror beliefs to America. They taught their children the same warnings their medieval ancestors had learned. The 7 Years' Rule crossed the ocean with them. Modern transformation happened slowly over centuries. The dark medieval story about demons and hell became a simple saying about bad luck. People forgot why they were afraid, but they kept doing the same things their medieval ancestors did. What got lost from medieval times was the real terror. Medieval people genuinely believed their souls were in danger. They thought demons were real and mirrors were doorways. That absolute fear disappeared, but the actions remained. What remained from medieval times was the basic medieval warning. Don't break mirrors. If you do, something bad will happen for 7 years. The ritual changed, but the timeline stayed exactly the same as medieval people believed. Something deep inside us still remembers those medieval fears. Your brain carries patterns from thousands of years ago. When you see a broken mirror, something ancient wakes up. Something that remembers when demons were real. Unconscious memory works in ways we don't understand. Your body reacts before your mind does. Your heart beats faster near broken glass. Your muscles tense up. These are the same reactions medieval people had when they feared for their souls. Even today, it makes us feel a little better to avoid broken mirrors. We don't believe in demons anymore, but following the old rules gives us comfort. It's like wearing a lucky charm or knocking on wood. Scientific explanation shows why habits stick so strongly. Our brains are designed to remember danger. For thousands of years, humans believed broken mirrors meant terrible things. That fear is still written in our minds today. So next time you avoid breaking a mirror, you'll know it comes from medieval people who lived in absolute terror of demons and hell. You'll understand that your quick worry about 7 years bad luck started with medieval villagers who believed their souls were at stake. Connection to medieval times makes this superstition much more interesting. Understanding these medieval origins changes how we see our own reactions. We're not just being silly. We're carrying forward the fears of people who lived in a world full of supernatural danger. Thanks for watching. I hope this made you think about how medieval people's fears still influence what you do every day. Next time you see a broken mirror, you'll remember the medieval villagers who believed demons were trying to steal their souls. See you next time.